if it is Thursday, you know that it's Think Tank Thursday, and I could not be more excited. I have a kindred spirit, a sister. I have somebody who I'm pretty sure has more energy, and I know this will be hard to believe, but she's got more energy than me. She's got a gracious, wonderful heart, and her way of wanting to be the helper or the partner with the people she serves is so much in line with what we do at Traintertainment. And I'm thrilled to introduce you to somebody who's going to be my really good friend. She's a good friend today. Everybody I interview, Jackie, I forever am saying, oh, and I've known so-and-so 20 years. Well, Jackie and I only have about 3 or 4 years under our belt, but we're going to be good friends for a long, long time, and right. Even more. But I'm excited to share Jackie Hoegger with you all. She has a little company over in Wichita Falls, Texas. So she and I speak the same language. We can understand one another. Maybe you can't. But I can't wait for Jackie to just spend a little time with us thinking about stuff instead of being in the doing mode. You know, that's the frenzy of busy that we are in, and that's why we take time on Thursdays to do a little think tank. I want to thank our digital sponsors, Bowling Music Network, Redemption Plus, and Simnox. We have amazing partners in the industry. Jackie, even you guys may be a 2021 sponsor. I hear that's a possibility. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Hoegger from Hoegger Marketing. Jackie, tell us how you're doing on this in this wild Thursday and this crazy what now time.
Oh my goodness. You know, we're doing great, but we're in the weeds just like every business across America. And we're navigating this marketing world week by week, Beth. And we're diving in the heart and souls of all of our clients we consider as friends and family. You know, I don't want to be a vendor to them. I want to be a true marketing arm and a marketing partner with them as we navigate. And every franchise we work with in every city across America and even in Canada, it changes week by week.
Boy, it does.
I've got some parts that are doing awesome and some parts that, you know, I'm right there with them. We shed a few tears and then we get back to work and roll up the sleeves and decide what the next move is.
It's such an interesting time. If we can't learn and grow during this time, we weren't meant to be in business, I don't think, you know?
You know, you're right. I always said I'm a farmer's daughter, so we were raised with a high work ethic and work expectations. And my dad always said, girl, prepare for a rainy day, but sometimes you got to expect a hurricane. And that's what we got, you know?
Yeah, that's a great, our buddies in Houston are really feeling that for real today. I know, it's like one more thing. Anyway, well, so it's interesting. You and I have had this conversation. I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes to sales, right? Oh, this is the perfect time. I did write the book on the fact that people buy from people, right? And so I've always, marketing eludes me. Like, it's so sophisticated and I'm not. And it's like magic. And when it works, it's just so exciting to me. Literally, when somebody sends a note back from a blog or responds to me from one of our email marketing campaigns, it just thrills me, you know. And oh my goodness, if they click and buy something, I think, whoa, how did we do that? And I don't know how we do anything, and I think we're just so marginal at it, and that had me reach out to you all, right?
It did.
So anyway,
you were talking about sales versus marketing.
Yeah, it just being such a magic formula, and it's a lot, you know. I mean, there's digital platforms and there's print media and there's a funnel, and you got to start the funnel for this thing, but then you got another thing. Oh, it's just wears me out. And
Well,
yeah,
I think first and foremost, we need to remember that marketing is storytelling. That's really all it is you're telling the story of your product or your business or your heart. And if you do it right and you do it in an authentic way, the consumer or the guest will gravitate towards you so
yeah,
fast. And where we chop up that story, we take your big, massive, wonderful story of what your why is, as Simon Sinek would say,
right.
and figure out why you're doing it, or why you bought this franchise, and what is the gift to the community, and what is the gift to your demographic. Is that mom and dad, or couples, or adults,
Yeah.
or babies, or kids, or birthday parties? That value told in an authentic story way is really all marketing is.
Well,
And
that's
then
great, because I picture myself as a storyteller. So
yes,
that's
and
been,
then you take that story and you chop it up, and that's where the funnel comes in. You're going to chop that story up and you're going to feed it to the different funnels and the different platforms.
Mhm.
And then you become, a data-driven story, because data doesn't lie. Data is going to tell you how your story is resonating with the eyeballs and the ears of your consumers,
Or not,
or not.
what,
Yeah,
how quickly, because that's the thing too, is it takes time for things to
it
get
does.
traction. And I
Well,
think that's one mistake that entrepreneurs make a lot of times, is they won't give things enough time.
Well, it also depends on at what form that you're doing on. I always say SEO is a marathon, PPC is quick, but and different social media platforms. LinkedIn takes longer to engage. Facebook is almost immediate. But
Okay.
each one of those platforms provides such a service for a specific part of your story, reaching a specific tribe that you're trying to get to. And
Gotcha.
it's overwhelming for the owner. The
Oh,
owner
it is.
is trying to make payroll. Let's just start with that.
Right.
The owner is trying to make rent and payroll. And my
Right.
goodness, are we so embracing of that mountain that they're climbing in the middle of COVID. So
Yeah.
what we have to do, Beth, is we have to take what little marketing dollars that they have, and by gosh, they have to work. And so that's where we become a partner and not a vendor.
Oh,
And
that's
we
great.
watch it every step of the way.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, tell me about your company. When
Well,
did you get started? How in the world did you have a vision? How long have you been doing it?
Thank you. I owned a retail store for 26 years before Hoegger Communications. And the marketing side of my retail store was by far where my happy place was.
Oh.
How I was telling the story of our retail store. It didn't matter that we were selling $1,000 dresses or $29.99 dresses or handbags. They came to us because we were the Cheers of our town, where everybody knew your name. So we
nice.
were the place before social media of the hangout, the peach iced tea, the hot cookies. Tell me about your kids. Tell me about your husband. We were their social aspect.
Lovely.
Then I sold that business, and immediately my phone rang. All of my customers and their husbands called me and said, "Hey, will you come and market our business just like you marketed your store?" So organically, that's how Hoegger Communications began.
Wow.
Now, fast forward 16 years, here we are in our just starting year 16. We also randomly have 16 amazing employees.
Oh, that's
we
nice.
have clients in almost every state.
Oh.
But how we began this agency 16 years ago and how we have it today is totally different. The world changes drastically. It's all about speed and innovation. And that's how marketing works, is through speed and innovation.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I started my company in 2005 as well, Jackie.
Yeah.
And I was like right on the cusp of Constant Contact. I was telling people, I was telling people from the stage, you've got to do this email marketing thing. And because if people would sign up for Constant Contact, they did a great job. I got like $30, so it didn't cost me anything the next month. I signed up location after location after location to do email marketing back in the day. And so, wow. Well, how in the world do you keep up with the change? What do y'all do?
You know, we're junkies. We're data junkies, and everybody has a lane in our office. And I always tell them, if we're not constantly improving our lane, I want to know. We network with agencies all over the United States. I mean, we're all in this together. There's enough business for all of us. And I'm just it is that old saying that I read at least 6 to 8 hours a week. I am constantly in the trenches of what's happening with SEO and what's happening with SEM and what's happening with Facebook and how the algorithms are changing on Google. But yet you still step back and you go, but what about the people in your own backyard that still pick up the local city magazine? And, what about the television station when all eyeballs are on television right now because of the presidential election? So right now, we've even shifted to buying more local broadcast news television and Fox News and CNN that we would not have bought last year, but this year because of COVID and because of the presidential election, it makes sense. So we go wherever the demand is and where we follow eyeballs and attention. At the end of the day, it's about eyeballs and attention.
Oh, that's awesome. And how in the world could any single business owner be adept at all of that? Like I finally have just given up, like thinking, I wish I knew it, but I don't know it. And
I look at you as the training expert of the world, and it overwhelms me what you do. That goes back to that saying, do what you do well and hire done what you cannot do. Listen, I don't do every lane of this office. I do believe you almost have to surround yourself with people that are almost smarter than you. And I believe that. And I've got team members in here, that are just brilliant at their jobs. And they will take an idea I have and look at me and shake their head. And, so even I, no pun intended, get trumped at times and say, we're not doing that, Jackie. But then my mind is spinning 24/7.
That's what you're supposed to do. As a business owner, you're the visionary. You're supposed to have those 20 plus ideas every day. And yes, if you've surrounded yourself by those smart folks, they'll say, if we do that, you want us to not focus on this? No, we're not doing that one. Not today, maybe later.
And I mean, my email burns up all weekend, and I tell my team, you can ignore my texts and my emails over the weekend, but I just have to shove it out to you while it's on my mind. Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. I've had the painful growth over the last 15 years about that very thing, because as the owner, it does come in the middle of the night.
It does.
And it comes at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning or all over the weekend. I can remember having an early conversation with a team member, and she's a real high performer. High performance is one of our core values. And she said, it really stresses me out when I get email from you over the weekend. And I was so grateful that she had the wherewithal to talk to me about it. And I have to readdress it. I mean, it's, I have to remind the team, guys, when I send out, just like you said, if I send out an email over the weekend, it's because I don't want to forget it. It's on my mind now. If I needed a response, I would say SOS. Actually, I'd probably pick up the phone and call them, and I said, if I really needed it, I would do that. And by the same token, if you really need me, call me. That's a serious thing for me if you need something, but it's not on fire, and I didn't want to burn them up either. And so you have to communicate with people.
I love what you said of reminding your team, but you don't have to open the emails of the weekend. And I email more than I text on the weekend. I don't even like their phone to ding from me over the weekend. But I will say this, you're right. Somebody has to be thinking 24/7, 7 days a week. And that's how we are with, literally with a franchisee
Oh,
or the
yeah.
franchisor. Sometimes I'll think of something on a Sunday afternoon at 2:00
Yep.
and I will shoot it out to them. And I'm always surprised who will respond to me,
Oh, yeah.
even though I
Yeah.
don't expect them to say, oh my gosh, I love this idea. But
Mhm.
when it's their money and the success of the millions of dollars that they have in that franchise, somebody besides them has to be thinking and spinning at all times as well. Does that make sense?
But it's certainly comforting to think that there is somebody out there like that, because I know I've gotten up literally in the middle of the night dreaming about client packaging
Yes.
or how to set their KPIs or a different way to communicate it. And I know that if I put my head back on the pillow, I may lose it. I don't know if my brains fall out on the pillow or what, but it's I know exactly what you're saying there. And I think to know that there's somebody else out there thinking about my business
Yes, I agree.
it's magnificent. And so what kind of help do you get today from marketing sort of thing? Like, are you guys doing all your own stuff internally? Do you have somebody help you?
That's a really good question. Obviously, we don't do anything for our clients that we don't do for ourselves.
Yeah.
Website, SEO, SEM, social media. You'll find me all over LinkedIn, and I'm all over Facebook, and I'm all over Instagram. And you'll see us Snapchatting, and you'll see a TikTok video go out. I mean, if it's out there, Hoegger has to be involved in it. I think, yes, we do our own, but I will tell you, we network with so many great inspirational marketers across the nation that I think all of us would step up to help a fellow person out.
Okay.
I got some great wisdom just this weekend from Craig Arthur, who's masterful at websites. And I reached out to him and I said, I'm thinking this. And he's like, you're spot on, Jackie. I don't have a problem asking for help or asking for wisdom at all from fellow people that I respect and admire in the industry.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I know we're real, even though we're a teaching education, training, coaching company, we're constantly reading and training and
Yes.
And getting coached. I have a coach. We have a coach. We don't hold our own quarterly meetings. We invite a coach in to come host those and things like that. So I do love that you practice what you preach, because as a consumer of your product, it means a lot to me that you're doing the very same things that you're selling.
Absolutely. It's like the plumber better have great plumbing. I mean, you just have to be a good steward of your own craft. And we use ourselves as a test market a lot.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
For our clients to say, hey guys, we tested this on us and this was the ROI on it. We're feeling good about it. For example, the platform of LinkedIn is a totally different platform today than it was pre-COVID.
Is it?
Oh my gosh. It's more about heart and soul today.
Okay.
Pre-COVID, your fellow businessmen and women might have slapped you down for getting just a smidgen personal on LinkedIn. Saying, if you want to get personal, head over to Facebook. Today, it's a whole different story. It's about culture, and it's about, candor, and it's about empathy and kindness and compassion, and helping those that are unemployed get connected with those that might be looking. So LinkedIn is not the same platform in the B2B world,
What do you think? So that's a great segue to pre-COVID marketing and post-COVID marketing, because I find myself, even in our leadership call today, we meet every Monday. I'm like, you're on Peer Talk, so I didn't take all the EIDL money. I don't know what I was thinking. I could use that money, but I'm thinking we got to spend some money. We got to spend some money on marketing. We got to spend more money on marketing and leverage our products. We've got to go forth and take this people buy from people concept and spread our wings even out beyond the family entertainment center niche. And I can't do that. I can't do that with shoe leather only. I've got to have real marketing.
Well,
And so
that's
what do
true.
you see? What are businesses doing?
Well, I think they're, first of all, they're not setting their marking and just letting it go.
Mm.
They are not going dark, because that's a mistake as well, to
Oh,
go dark.
yeah.
But they are analyzing what they can spend in marketing, and they're really thinking it out and pre-planning and coming and working hand in hand with us on the strategy. Businesses that used to say, just do it, Jackie, I go, no more. We do it together. We analyze this together, because every penny we spend has to perform today. It just
Yeah.
has to. And
Yeah.
I actually think the good that's come out of the marketing side of COVID is we're really slowing down and rethinking our spend, and we're making sure that we're doing the right moves. Now,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, 10% of your budget should always be trying new things. It has to
Okay.
be. But 90% of your budget has to perform. And we all know that, our world is this mobile device that
Right.
you pick up on your bedside before you ever put a toe out of the bed. This is life. It is everything. It's our toothpaste.
Yeah.
It's our Hulu movie. It is our texting mama across the street to see how she's doing. It's communicating with our team, and it's talking to our consumers and our guests. It is everything. So
It
you
is.
just have to really think it out today, Beth. You do.
Well, I know it helps to have smarter thinkers. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad you and I it took you and I a bit to get connected. And it's funny because COVID slowed us down enough.
Yes.
That's what happened. COVID slowed us down enough that we made sure to follow through, because we've been talking forever.
Ever.
And so really, I think there's a lesson in that, and that's kind of what Think Tank's about too, right? That if we can't take a few minutes on Thursday to say, what should we be thinking about? How could we work on our business or work on ourselves just for a minute? That's been the power of creating.
You know what? I love what you just said. How can we take that minute to think about ourselves? The one thing I've been telling my franchisees and my other clients is take this time to breathe and revisit why you fell in love with your business to begin with.
Yo, perfect.
Because if you're still not in love with your business, that's a whole different lane.
It is.
If you're still in love with your business, it's time to really dig in and figure out how you can share that why, and make sure we tell your story to keep your customers engaged with you, even if you're closed. And Beth, we don't know what November's going to bring. We don't know what December, but we do know that.
October. Will we have a July type October, and potentially even more spiky, more surgy, because I don't know if those are words or not, but we have Labor Day and we have everybody going back to school. And
I know, but this is what we do know. Fall, Thanksgiving, and Christmas will not be postponed.
Well, no.
It's going to happen. So we just need to be prepared. You need to be thinking today, how is Thanksgiving going to happen, and how is December going to happen if I'm open or if I'm closed?
Yeah.
Because closed doesn't mean the end of sales. Closed doesn't mean I can't bring in revenue. And we've learned that lesson the hard way in April and May.
Yeah.
And we've learned from it. So that's what your marketing partners should be doing, is navigating all of those plans with you. And then how are we speaking to your customer base, and how are we keeping them engaged with the company that you love, right?
That's great. That's great. No, you need to be in love. You need to be in love at this time. That's so perfect. Jackie, because if you're not, it would be very hard to flow through this thing, I think.
It will be. And I think we've learned to live on less. We all know that. And I think we've learned that life is so precious. We could go on down there. And, I just yesterday, I was telling my family, part of us all wants everything open up, go full throttle. We can't do this anymore. We got to make money until COVID affects your sister or
Exactly.
your brother or your neighbor or your mama or your child, for God's sakes. So, right. And then you go down this lane. So what we do is we pray a lot. We take a deep breath, and my only advice to businesses is to connect yourself with vendors who are just as passionate about your business as you are.
Yeah.
And they're out there. They're there. And you're going to know it within 30 days of working with them, because the craziest comment I think someone ever made to me was, Jackie, I think you sometimes put too much heart, or you get too emotionally involved. And you know what? I didn't say anything to that comment that day, but about 2 days later, I'm sitting there thinking about it. And I thought, there's not enough money to pay for someone to be in love with your business as much as you are. Yeah. And so in hindsight, I wish I would have said, oh my gosh, and I wear that badge proudly.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
That these franchisees matter to me, and the franchisor, because let me tell you, they need just as much love and compassion and the home office team as the franchisee. So sometimes as the marketing partner, I'm really the glue in between both.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And happy to be sitting in that position and love on both sides of the spectrum.
That's great. That's great. Oh, you and I could visit. We could visit all afternoon.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for agreeing to come on Think Tank. I think it'll be so relevant, and I think people will be really, you've given such good tidbits and nuggets here. I think it'll be important for people to hear, and I think getting reconnected about why you're in business and why you love the business will certainly help get through this particular time. I can't let you leave Think Tank, though, without answering the Think Tank question. Are you ready?
Okay.
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 So here it is.
Okay. I'm ready.
We're all right. We're obsessed at Trend Entertainment with growth of people, because we think if people grow, well, then businesses grow, right? And so I want to know, I'm curious, what do you do on a consistent basis to help yourself and or others grow?
Well, I think education is number one, and that's important. But I also think acknowledging your vulnerabilities. We are not perfect human beings.
Yeah.
And every office and every business has vulnerabilities. And I welcome those when we sit down once a quarter and go, where are our vulnerabilities today? Because they change quarter by quarter. And let's acknowledge those vulnerabilities, and let's aspire to fill in the gaps of those vulnerabilities. And I'll be the first one to tell you, everybody has vulnerabilities, and I'm not afraid to share mine. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. That's great leadership, Jackie. That's I read a lot of John Maxwell, and he acknowledging leaders who will acknowledge their own vulnerabilities and be willing to work on them are awesome. So that's great. I know you attend Peer Talk.
I do. I love it.
I know we got a great recommendation for a book that I've completed, The Obstacle is the Way. And I don't know if you've gotten that one or not, but oh my goodness, Jackie, I listened to it. I didn't read it. But he quotes the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius and Seneca and Euripides, Epictetus. I got that wrong. And so after that read, I had to order this book, and it's just been wonderful. So Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, And yeah, so that The Obstacle is Away is a great read for right now. And Jim Kessler, I'll thank him for recommending.
I
He
remember
recommended
him recommending that in
Yeah.
Peer Talk. I'll consider I'll order that today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you're going to read People Buy from People first. So.
That's right.
Okay, very good. Well, Jackie, thank you so much for your time today. And if you want, you could put your contact information and stuff.
Yes.
And Candy will build like a little outro, and so send a picture over.
Will do.
And we'll get that out there and get it on Facebook. And I know you'll
And you know
share
what?
it.
You know, Beth, it doesn't cost anything to visit with people. It doesn't cost anything to connect with people. And it doesn't, to me, it's an investment of love, passion, empathy, and kindness to find out about people's businesses and how you can help them.
That's great.
That's the beginning of a relationship.
Oh, it is. It absolutely. Well, it's connection. That's what has to happen, and that'll be meaningful when you wind up reading my book. So,
okay,
that's great. All right. Well, thank you, Jackie. I hope this.
All right.
I hope we make you proud, and I look forward to. We got to do some more stuff.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
All
right.
right.
God bless you.